Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, I'm going to show you my new favorite way to make cauliflower by stuffing it with cheese, wrapping it in beef, and then wrapping that in bacon. Now, when it comes to having vegetables with dinner, I can kind of take them or leave them, but my wife, Terry, pretty much insists on having some sort of vegetable side dish with every meal. And being on keto, we are kind of limited in terms of what vegetables we can have, generally in the whole cruciferous vegetable family, cauliflower being one of those. In this video, I draw from one of my earlier videos where I make the smoked bacon-wrapped sausage fatty, and I'll link that up here and in the end card as well, so you can check that out if you'd like. Basically, I call it a meat lover's pizza without the crust. And I use a similar technique in this video to that one, the bacon weave. Now, I'm going to answer a couple of questions I think you might have just proactively here. First off, do you need to use ground brisket, which is what I use? No, you do not need to use ground brisket. However, if you have a meat grinder, you should totally check out my video on the Ultimate Smash Burger where I grind my own brisket. Once you start grinding your own brisket, you're never going back to any form of other ground beef. If, however, you can't make ground brisket or you don't have it available, go for the fattiest ground beef you can find. I mean, ground brisket is about 70%. Make sure you don't go any leaner than 80% lean because we want all of that fat and beef juice to just get down and penetrate into that cauliflower. The next question you may have is, do you even need the cauliflower? And the answer to that is no. If you don't want to, don't. In fact, the next time I make this recipe, I'm probably going to see if I can't just get a big ball of fresh buffalo mozzarella and use that instead of cauliflower wrapped around it. Or maybe a bell pepper. Maybe just get the top of one of those, cut it off, and stuff that fresh mozzarella down in that, then wrap it in the meat. Oh, I'm getting hungry. So let's make this recipe. I'm going to start by steaming my cauliflower to make it soft and easy to push the cheddar in. I'm using a pasta pot with a strainer, and I'm going to cover that so I can bring it up to temp really quickly. Just go to high, get it boiling. And while we wait for that, I'm going to prep my cauliflower. This is a fairly small head of cauliflower, and I'm removing the leaves and a good chunk of the stem here. In terms of weight, we're looking at 509 grams or 1 pound, 2 ounces. Into my pot this will go, and this will steam for about 20 minutes. While it's steaming, I'm going to prep some other ingredients, starting with my extra sharp cheddar cheese. Now, I'm not sure exactly how much I'm going to use here, but I want to cut this into small chunks, sort of like large matchsticks in terms of width, that I can stuff up into the cauliflower. I'm also going to prep my bacon weave, and to make that easier, I'm going to lay down 2 pieces of plastic wrap. You'll see how that comes in handy later on. And then I have a 16-ounce package of bacon. That's, 450 grams, I think? I'm going to lay out 7 pieces of bacon, and I stretch them out just a little bit as I'm laying them down so I get a little bit more coverage. And I'm going to peel back each of the odd-numbered pieces, then lay down a slice, perpendicular, again, sort of stretching it out just a little bit. Put the odd-numbered pieces back, and then I pull back the even-numbered pieces and lay another perpendicular slice across those. And then I'm just going to repeat, alternating odd and even slices of bacon until I've got my entire weave. And it seems like I always wind up with 1 extra slice. We'll call that the lucky bacon slice. But there we go. There is our bacon weave. As I said before, a small head of cauliflower takes about 20 minutes to steam, and we're going to test its doneness. If a knife goes in and out easily, it's good to go. And this is good to go. So I'm going to remove it from the hot water and set it here and let it cool for a little while. I want to get to the point where I can handle it without burning myself. While the cauliflower cools, I've got my 2 pounds of ground brisket. That's just a little bit less than a kilo. And I'm going to dump that into a medium to large bowl and then pat it up around the sides, kind of creating an interior meat bowl. Then I'm going to start stuffing that cheddar into my cauliflower. Any place you see a nook and cranny, just jam that cheddar in. Now, it's possible that you may push all the way through, like I did there. Don't worry about it. You just pick that piece up, stuff it back in. No one will know. And I laid this stem side down. That may seem like the opposite way you'd want to do it, but trust me, it works out properly once I put it onto the bacon weave. I want to make sure that I get everything nice and tight in here. And then I dump it onto my bacon weave. Just touch it up a little bit here. And then pull up the corner, pull up any corner, and just sort of rub it in, massage it in, and the bacon will start to stick. I find it's good to be patient with this process. Don't go too quickly. Just up, smooth. And after you get the final corner up and in place, I like to grab all four corners of my plastic, give it a twist, make sure I've got a nice, tight, uniform ball, which I do. Then I'm going to prep my baking sheet, first with some foil for easier cleanup, and then a rack so that I'm not having my meatloaf sitting on top of all the bacon grease. It'll drain out and help things get crispy. Transfer the loaf to the rack, and then this is going to go into my oven, preheated to 450 degrees convection, that's 230 Celsius, for 25 minutes. At the 25-minute mark, I'm going to rotate this because, like I said, I'm baking this convection, and I want to make sure that that fan is blowing on both sides so my bacon crisps up nice and evenly, and I'm going to let this go for another 20 minutes. Then we'll pop this out and check out the color on that bacon. Beautiful, just slightly crispy. However, I want to make sure that the bottom is just as well done as the top. So using two spatulas, I'm going to give this a flip and put it back into the oven for another 5 or 10 minutes. However, I'm going to change the setting to convection roast, so I'm heating it from the top. I'm going with 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 205 Celsius. And look at the results. Nice, crisp, beautiful. I'm going to flip this over and let it rest for about 5 minutes so that it can get cool enough to actually touch as I'm slicing it up. Now you could cut this into slices, however, I'm going to do it in pie pieces. That way I get the same amount of meat and bacon and cauliflower in every serving. One for me, and one for Terry.
I'm so excited to eat this, dear. Bacon on the end, and I suppose I should
make sure you get a good chunk of cauliflower, because I want you to tell me, does it taste like cauliflower or does it taste like beef and bacon?
I think the juice from the beef went into the cauliflower a little bit, and then you got I didn't get any of the cheddar part, but yeah, good flavors, and I like the crispy on the beef, on the bacon, sorry.
All right, I'm gonna try and get them all in one bite. I probably could have stuffed more cheddar into this. What I love is just all of the fat from the meat gets down and penetrates the cauliflower. It's like the cauliflower is almost just there for texture. I'm not sure that I could identify this as cauliflower. I'm going to put some of my homemade keto barbecue sauce on this. I'll link to that up here. I need to figure out a way to get more cheddar into this. Maybe by using like an apple core or something like that. Something that I can maybe go in through the top and then push all this cheddar down in. But man, this is good. And just to show you how easy the cleanup is when you put that foil in there. Sure, we got some bacon fat in the tray, but none of the crusties. Very easy cleanup. Two other quick things about this recipe. If you want, you can put some sort of a barbecue rub on top of the bacon. I didn't do that for two reasons. One, to keep things simple, and two, I wanted to get the bacon as crispy as possible, and I didn't want anything interfering with that. Now, speaking of crispy bacon, that gets me to my second part. This stuff reheated in an air fryer is so good. It really, really crisps up that bacon and just takes this thing to a whole nother level. So if you have any ideas on what might be better than cauliflower to stuff these with, let me know down in the comments below. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap that subscribe button, then hit the bell to turn on all notifications. And if you'd like to get in on some special channel member perks, click that join button down below and see what channel membership has to offer. Thanks for watching.